What's up YouTube, it's your boy Trey, and we are back with another video. Today we're going to be, of course, reacting to Mission 3 of Dream Academy. I'm so excited. I think this is where the competition really started to pick up. These are where some of the most iconic performances from Dream Academy come from. I will say there's not a single performance from this mission that I do not like. So it was really hard to determine the order. Normally I like to go from, worst to best. So I kind of just randomized it. And yeah, I'm going to give you guys my full, raw, unfiltered opinion. And yeah, let's just get right into it. There's a lot to unpack here. So let me set the stage for you. After mission 2, we had 4 eliminations. Well, technically 3. Lexi chose to eliminate herself, and of course, Brooklyn, Ilya, and Carly were eliminated as a result of the mission 2 results. So this mission, they came back to the States, and they are performing 3 pop girl/girl group anthems, and they were split into different teams based off of concept. So we've got a more, more confident, powerful, edgier concept. We've got a more, traditional, like mature, sexy concept, and then we've got like the cutesy girl next door concept. So this is gonna be that girl next door concept. It's the Spice Girls' Wannabe, and in the group we're gonna have Ua, Samara, Emily, Ezrella, I believe. Yeah, let's get into it. I will say right off the bat, I loved the styling for this mission. Fit the concept immediately, and the nice little field with the bluegrass. Ugh, perfect touch.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna.
Hey.
Really wanna sing if you want my future.
Right off the bat, I will say that Emily improved between these 2 missions. She's definitely, I think this is definitely a concept that she shines a lot more in. I think it's just so hard to encapsulate that K-pop vibe for a lot of these girls, and with obviously the song being Anti-Fragile that she was in, terrible choice. I think she really shined, and this was one mission in which her vocal tone didn't really bother me. I think it fit perfectly with the song. And it kind of made me think like, okay, maybe I could see her in a group of sorts. Maybe, because I kind of got the idea of where they were headed with KATSEYE. So it's like, maybe not the direction that they're heading with KATSEYE, but maybe she could be in a group. That's when I started to think that, because I will say, I remember her carrying this performance heavy. But yeah, let's continue.
Forget my past. If you wanna get in me, better make it fast. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together.
And they are in sync.
Just fine. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna sick. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
Hey, come on, Ezrella.
Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my
Oh, Samara's
lover,
vocals.
you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is.
This group to me feels kind of like a premonition for Saint Satine, because we've got Samara being the only one who can sing in this group. Samara is carrying the vocals down. I will say that similarly to how I felt about Emily, this is the one time I feel like Ezrella really showed me. I won't say it was one time for Emily, because you'll see in the finale that Emily basically showed her chops for sure. But to me, Ezrella really stepped up her cookies for once in the competition here. I won't say I was fully convinced, but I will say it's the most that she'd ever given me girl group member. Like I said, I think it's just hard for her to grasp on a certain concepts, and I feel like this is something that's right up her alley, so it was a little bit easier for her. However, same problem that I have with Emily that I have with Ua, I have with her, is that she doesn't really have very strong vocals. So a lot of this was carried definitely by Samara. However, I feel Emily got away with a lot of it because there were a lot of talk singy parts that Emily's voice kind of fit perfectly for. Ua, she's really like taking the piss on the vocals for me. Like it's not working. It's not meshing up. And there's a reason that she got very few lines. And it's simply because I feel like her voice is underdeveloped, and I can hear the final processing on this. Obviously, there's processing done on all of the vocals for all of these missions, because they're not going to just put out some, half-finished product. However, even with the final processing on it, her voice, it's just not working. And usually when you have to like correct and pitch correct a lot more on one person, you can kind of tell, because there are like these weird fluctuations. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm hearing with Ua's voice. And yeah, there's a reason the result went the way that it did. And this is one of the missions where the result made sense to me, because if you don't know, Ua does go home after this. But yeah, so far Samara's carrying, but Emily, she's carrying vocally, but Emily is holding that performance down, and Ezreal is really holding her own, which was a major shock to me at the time. Like, look at this. Come on, feel like you can see he likes it on it. Really? Slam your body down and wind it all around. Slam your body down and wind it all around. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. But it's so cute because Ua can really perform. She just needed a lot of vocal work, and she was a little bit too premature on that stage of development for her. You gotta. Hey. Hey, let's go. These girls are really like performing their ass off, I will say. If you wanna be my lover. Aww, what a cute performance. I think that went really well. I loved this performance. I loved all three of these performances. I will say, obviously, same notes. Ua's vocals really were not where they needed to be for this mission, unfortunately. Ezreal did a lot better than I expected her going into this mission. I still do not think she was top 2 in this performance. I think Samara and Emily easily carry. I would argue that Ezreal's performance was a tad bit better than Samara's. However, her vocals carrying so much of the performance made her instantly stand out that much more to me. So I feel like she, of course, is going to take the cake overall over Ezreal. And then I think, of course, Emily, she's up there. Emily has been a performer down from day one. And this is a clear sign of it. Like, she was performing her ass off. That girl is so magnetic. It's just, your eye is drawn to her when she's on stage. She genuinely looks like she's one of those people who you can tell she enjoys what she does. Like, she loves being on stage. She loves dancing. She loves performing. And I love that about Emily. And that's why I'm kind of glad she got this chance with Saint Satine. Same with Samara. I think Samara is the quintessential pop star. Like, if this were the 2000s, the 90s, she would have been debuted. Like, she to me is what the baseline pop star is. That is Samara. She has those bright poppy vocals with a very like almost teen pop voice. I love it. She has such crisp and clean vocals at that, but also she has such a unique vocal tone that it works so perfectly for her, and adds this nice quality to every track that she sings over. I love it so much. And yeah, I was a bit nervous here. I was like, ooh, she might give Manoa a run for her money. You know, she might give Manoa a run for her money, and I knew she was always going to give Manoa a run for her money, but yeah. Few comments from me on Samara. I think she just delivered a great performance. Emily did a great job. Ezreal, I enjoyed seeing her perform in this one. And yeah, she didn't fall into the background. I think she stuck out equally, and she kind of, for once in this competition, kind of held equal footing with her members. Yeah, on to the next. Next up, we've got what I consider to be the best performance of Mission 3, which is a really unpopular opinion for some reason, but it is going to be Confident by Demi Lovato. On this team, we've got Marquis, we have Lara, Yunche, and Megan, and it's a bit more of a bolder concept, you know? We've got dark makeup, we've got dark eyeshadow, we've got these dark leather outfits. I loved this song because I was like, wait, first of all, I think I'd heard Confident by Demi Lovato before. However, I didn't recognize this arrangement of it, obviously because it's a new arrangement of it. And I swore, I was like, what girl group sings this song? I was like, looking back, I was like, I can't think of a single girl, Confident, what girl group sings Confident? Like, they did so well that they convinced me that this was a girl group song. The arrangement, whoever arranged this, did a phenomenal job. And I think that these girls performed their asses off. And I think like they were on pretty much equal footing. Like there were very few gaps in it. Like there's just so much that went right with this, and I thought for me this is my favorite performance. I'd like to see if my opinion changes on the second watch around. Second is probably like my 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th time watching this video. But yeah, I'd like to see if my opinion changes, but let's just get right into it.
Dream Academy.
Ooh, let's get into it. Like this start alone. Like, lights raising in a stadium. I gotta go back. Let me, guys. I'm gonna fan out about this. I loved this performance. Come on. Like, are you kidding? Who is this? I will say, out the gate, I was shocked because that last performance really had me doubting Megan's ability to be in the group. I was like, she's really dull. Like, she's a bit boring. There's something that is just not captivating about her to me. Like, it feels like she's not giving 110% like I know she can, because for all technical purposes, she's a good singer. She can dance. There was just something missing, and that alone let me know this was a different Megan that we were dealing with. She was really in her element in this performance, and I love that about her. But let's see if you agree.
It's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now.
And her vocals? Oh, Yoonche, wow. Even Marquis, she got such a spark of confidence. Wow. This, so similarly to Megan, Yoonche, she was reliable throughout the whole competition, but damn, like this mission, I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Nayoung, you're probably, obviously I didn't know that she wasn't going to make it to the finale, but I already knew. Once I saw this, I was like, Nayoung, you're probably not going to debut. Because Yoonche, wow, she blew me out of the water. Like, those very solid vocals. Like I said, all of these have, like, some processing done over them. But I could tell that, like, the bass performance that they delivered was so solid that there wasn't as much heavy, like, tuning or processing needed over their vocals. And wow, like, Yoonche really blew me away. I think this is the most we'd ever gotten to hear her, like, really just, like, put a lot of power into it. Marquis really shocked me as well. I think Marquis, similar to Ezrella, similar to Megan at times, just kind of fell in the back for me. Like, she sometimes wasn't always on, and I think that you could feel this, like, confident energy being exuded from her for this performance, and I loved that she was able to just like turn on and give something different. And I think it really is the fact that she's paired with these three. Obviously, like Lara Raj she is a performer, she's a talent. Yoonche's great, and Megan was bringing her A game, and I feel like that really brought it out of Marquis. Do I think that she eclipsed any of the other members? No, honestly, I feel like at times, similarly to her last performances, the other members outshined her, but she really held her own. And I think that initial clip is just a sign of that. Like, let's continue. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So you say I'm complicated.
That's our main vocal right there, I'm telling y'all.
What's wrong with being?
Oh, and this choreo.
What's wrong with being confident? Oh, what's wrong with being? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident?
Nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with being confident. Okay, come on. Come on, Marquis. Come on, Marquis.
Hey! Yeah.
And I love the placement.
So you say I'm complicated.
This combo right here. TTT. Oh, TTT. TTT. Clap. Moving with such fluidity but such accuracy. Loved it. That's the only part I have a problem with. she's definitely, you know, and it's sad because in Pop Star Academy we see that she was able to sing this like full like mixed like and really like put a lot of force behind it, but I guess maybe because of the performance itself they wanted to go a different direction. I don't know what made them switch from having her do like a chest mixed voice to moving more into her like head voice slash falsetto, but yeah, a lot more airy, but that pissed me off a little bit because I knew she could do it, especially after the Pop Star Academy documentary. But that's more of a problem with the direction that the vocal coach chose to take the arrangement for her. But yeah, probably one of my few gripes with this performance. Like that whole sequence of, again, don't like the placement here. Don't see why we switched to more of a head voice here. And they all did. Maybe it's because it's a lot higher. And see, here you go, Marquis falling off again a little bit. Despite my gripes with the placements, that blew me away. Like, that performance blew me away, and that was amazing. Like, look at that final girl. Yoonche. Yoonche said, "Power to the people. Black Lives Matter." Okay. No. Yeah. Again, comments on that. Very few comments. The switch to being a lot more predominantly like in the head voice really bothered me because obviously Demi's known for a lot of stronger vocals, lots of mixed, lots very heavy chest and mixed presence in her vocals, and I think it's what delivers the power in her performances. And I think that without that, some of the power tends to wane off. So the second half of it being a lot more in that head voice range really just kind of dulls it. But I get it because they're dancing at the same time, they're singing at the same time, and it is a higher register. So it's a lot harder to sing full chest and hold your breath while you're dancing to the intensity that they are. So I get it, and there's lots of obviously like torso contortions in there that would just make it damn near impossible for you to keep your diaphragm like fully supporting those notes. So I get it, but that's just a personal gripe of mine. I think there are times still where Marquis kind of dulls herself a little bit. However, the other three on the entire time. And when Marquis was on, she was on. And she was on stronger than I'd ever seen her in this performance. Or in this program in its entirety. Standouts for me, definitely Megan and Lara. Yoonche, I think she delivers such a like grounded, solid performance that she's just always in it. And obviously that can be a testament to her times as a K-pop trainee before this. But damn, like Lara and Megan really delivered. Vocally, they delivered. Performance-wise, they delivered. And Lara wasn't even that strong of a dancer. And she's still like, where Lara lacks in dance, she makes up for in performance. Like, if she's not going to be, you know, there is a bit of a disconnect sometimes between her lower body and her upper body, and a lot of the movements can get a little muddied when they're being carried between the two zones. However, she is always going to give so much performance-wise that you almost don't recognize her mistakes. And if you do, you're willing to give them a pass because she's just delivering at such a high level, and she's just putting on such a good damn show that I'm willing to forgive it, right? Like, I don't think there were times, obviously I think out of all of the four, she's the weakest dancer here, but I, was not disappointed in the slightest because she just delivered such a phenomenal vocal performance, such phenomenal presence and energy that I couldn't look away. So she's definitely a standout, and she's been a clear standout in all of her performances. But wow, Megan blew me out of the water, and this is when I was like, well, mayhaps. Yeah, I was rooting for my girl Megan once this happened, and I think a lot of people were. Like, she blew us out of the water for sure. But yeah, to me, this is just a personal favorite of mine. I could not get past this performance. I loved it so much. I binged it when it first came out. I was playing it over and over again because it was just the girls did a phenomenal job. And if any of them ever see this, y'all did amazing. Y'all killed it. We were gaslit into believing Buttons was the best, but y'all killed that shit. Okay, last up, we've got, of course, the one everybody knows, Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls. So this was our 5-member team. This is going to be Celeste, Nayoung, Mano, Daniela, and Sophia. And of course, if you've seen the Popstar Academy documentary, you'll know that Sophia was actually sick, like very sick at the time of performing this. So I want you all to carry that with you when you watch just how much she delivered. Again, this is the more mature concept. They've got all the girls who are over 18 in this one, 18 and older in this one, to make sure, to be a little bit ethical with it. But yeah, I mean, they deliver exactly what you think needs to be delivered. So let's check. Let's see.
Dream,
Sueño.
Fun, Call,
Dream. Dream Academy.
Love the concept. Let's go. Come on, Sophia. Come on. Sophia gets a little bit off center there.
I'm telling you to loosen up my body.
Come on, Mano.
But you keep fronting. Say what you gon' do to me. But I say nothing. Loosen up.
I will say outright, I noticed in this performance that Mano's facials weren't changing a lot. She had like that deer caught in headlights look that a lot of people get on stage when they're nervous. They suddenly drop their facials and they're just locked in. You're trying to, especially, I notice it a lot when people have really difficult choreography or you feel less performance ready, so you're trying to remember things. This is why with my dancers, with my performers, I always workshop facials with them so they know, this is something that's like a regular industry practice, especially in K-pop, to practice your facials and for your facials to be a part of the performance. So I was really confused that her facials were dropping so much, and because they probably practice facials, my assumption was that she was focused on remembering exactly what the choreo was and what her movements were, because as you can see, there's lots of movement. The camera is moving like this, so they're performing multi-directionally. They're having to shift and move. So honestly, they were tasked with something that was a bit more difficult than the other teams, and that's something that I will credit them for. And that's not to make an excuse for her. It took me out of the performance at times, her having that kind of like deer caught in headlights moment, but I'm gonna attribute it to her likely either trying to make sure that she was hitting her mark and that she was also hitting those moves correctly. But yeah, that took me out a lot of it, and I was a bit disappointed in that. I mean, I think it's part of the reason why this isn't my favorite and why I don't necessarily think it is the best performance that we had from Mission 3.
Say what you gon' do to me. But I say nothing. Loosen up my body.
And see, just like at the end of this, let's go back.
She
She gives us a little bit of a smirk, a little peek, right? So that tells me that there was moments where she's centered up, right? What do I always say? A lot of people like to play in that camera. When you're in the middle, suddenly you get that little confidence, you get that little movement. You're like, And this is when they're stationary. She gives us a little bit of smirk. So this is kind of, this is proving me right. I'm pretty sure I'm right here. They're stationary. She's finally smack dab in front of the camera. She feels a little more confident to give us a little tease, right? And it's good that she had that moment, but when I can see it peeking out and I can see it not being drawn out of you, to me that means there's just a lack of preparation. You're not fully prepared. So I don't think she was as prepared as she should have been for this mission. That being said, she doesn't do a bad job, obviously. She hasn't done a bad job yet. I'm not like, she's trash, this sucks. But yeah, there definitely seemed to be a little bit of a lack of preparation or full confidence in herself for this mission.
loosen up my body straight. But you keep fighting. Saying what you gon' do to me. But I say nothing.
See, now, Nayoung shocked me a little bit. First of all, because I didn't realize she was that damn short. I didn't realize she was that damn short, but I hadn't seen... I'm not saying she's delivering just like a boom, 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 Sophia level, Daniela level performance in this, because they obviously take the cake on this. But that like little mature, sexy tease that we just got from her, I was shocked. I hadn't seen that from Nayoung at this point in the entire project. So I was pleasantly surprised, which made the result of this mission that much more surprising for me. But as you can see, Celeste's vocal tone, once again, it strikes and it pulls you away. And I think that they, you know, Celeste, she's beautiful. I think she's an amazing performer too. Like, I will say she did an amazing job performing in this mission, but that vocal tone, I think it took so many people out of it. I think the directors of the program definitely knew that it was time, unfortunately, but yeah, let's keep going. Now this is my star.
I like when the physical don't leave me asking for more. I'm a sexy mama, I just to get when I wanna. What I wanna do is bring this on ya.
Come on.
The things that I told ya.
You've been saying all the right things all night long, but I can't seem to get you over here to help take this on.
I will say I did fall in love with Minogue's vocal tone. This is the most that we've gotten from her vocally at this point. And I really fell in love with her vocal tone because that sounded amazing. And it really contextualized the comment that one of the training coordinators, I believe, made during the process on Popstar Academy, where she stated, Minogue does things, she doesn't know where it comes from, but she does it, right? And I think that speaks to there are, I truly believe, as someone who has, you know, creative directed for dance teams, as someone who has trained, vocal coached, as someone who's coached dancing, as someone who's taught all types of creative skills, right? There is a base level for all of this. There are things that some of us are born with that some of us will never have, right? Like, you can work to develop a vocal tone, but there's an innate tone. It's in the way we speak, the way we intonate. That is just innate to all of us, right? And so she has just such a like rich. It's like this rich. It's a bit silky. Almost there's like a husk to it that I love about Minogue's vocal tone. And I really fell in love with it on this mission. I was like, damn, like she has a nice vocal tone. Like if she learned to properly sing, because I don't think she's a skilled singer by many stretches of the imagination, if any. I don't think she's a skilled singer. I was like, but damn, like if she learned to sing, something that is very difficult to do as an adult, but if she learned how to sing, like she could be like a force to be reckoned with. Like she could give us a nice little like smooth R&B type of vibe. Like I was rooting for her a little bit here.
Can't you see?
Same with Daniela. I love Daniela's vocal tone.
And the heat coming from the speed. I'm about to go. I don't think you know. I'm telling you,
Celeste didn't sound that bad there.
But you keep fighting. Say what you gon' do to me. But I see nothing. Loosen up my ballast, babe. But you keep fighting.
Wow. Okay. Sophia to the front. I will say I was pleasantly surprised by Sophia's performance in this, and why I was so blown away by the fact that she was sick, because I'd started to question, like, damn, can Sophia give us any more than what she already gives? And that's to say that, you know, sometimes, like I said, Sophia is a very consistent performer. She's very consistent in what she does. But I think that in some concepts she does better than others. I think that I had not seen any potential for her to give like mature, like give something like baddie vibe, give something that's more of a like mature baddie vibe. And so I was pleasantly surprised and blown away at how well she was able to sort of fit into this concept and really sell it. And you can tell she worked very hard for that. Yeah, she really blew me out of the water with this performance. And I've said this throughout the competition. She deserved her spot 100% because she was just so consistently good. She's such a talent, and you can tell she's so talented. So I've never once doubted whether or not Sophia deserved her spot, but there were things that obviously I felt that she needed to work on. And so seeing her encapsulate this mature vibe so well, I was so proud. I was so proud, and I was so ecstatic to see that she was able to pull this off, right? Yeah, class act. Love Sophia down. Love Sophia down. Let's continue.
Say what you gon' do to me, but I see nothing.
Oh, Daniela, come on now. She was giving it. She was taking the cake. Come on.
I can take this.
Like, look at Celeste. Look at her. She was performing her ass off. Oh my gosh. Just a little more training. Like, just a little more vocal training.
Loosen up my buttons, babe, but you keep fighting. Say what you gon' do to me, but I see nothing. I'm telling you, loosen up my buttons, babe, but you keep fighting. Saying what you gon' do to me, but I see nothing. I'm telling you to loosen up my buttons.
Come on, Mano.
But you keep
She's hitting the moves. She's hitting the moves. I'm saying it. She's hitting it.
but I see nothing. Loosen up my buttons, babe, but you keep fighting.
Come on.
Say what you gon' do to me, but I say nothing.
Yeah, her getting this center position let me know, oh, they want her. They want her bad. Yeah. Her getting that center position at the end let me know they wanted her. And that's why it makes sense to me that Hybe Geffen had so much to do in Dream Academy and the missions. I was like, that makes sense. Hybe, sorry, not Hybe Geffen, Hybe. That they really, they wanted her. I knew they wanted her. I knew they wanted Mano, despite all the controversy and the noise marketing during this whole thing. I knew they wanted her. They wanted her down. And to me, you know, like I said, even with Sakura and Saint Satine, I said this, like, y'all love to hate on people who aren't talented, or maybe, I won't say aren't talented, people who don't have as strong of a skill set. I think it's very easy. That's low-hanging fruit, right? It's low-hanging fruit to pick on someone who pre-debut especially doesn't have as much of a skill set, but those things can be built. And I saw that in Mano. I was like, there is just something that she has that the other girls don't. Now, it was hiding in this mission. It was hiding a little bit in this mission because she was a lot less confident than she was in Le Seraphim's mission. But there is something that Mano had that the other girls just didn't. Or they had less of it. There is, I would argue that Laura Raj also has it. Star quality and marketability, a lot of people use them interchangeably. I think that, you know, obviously marketability is just how easily we can market you to the general public, or to a specific niche. It could be your marketability towards a specific demographic, and the demographic that they're going for. I felt like Mano was very marketable. Like she could be easily marketed. However, I think there is a pull and attraction, and it can be attributed to her visual presence. But also to just this energy, this aura she has about her, right? This mystique. She definitely reminds me of kind of like, you know, older artists. Like, I would argue Beyonce has a similar vibe, that similar mystique that makes you want to know more about them, right? Like, Mano just has that. She has that outright. You could see her being a pop star. And I think that she just had it. And like, those skills could have always been built up. And I think by the time she gets in KATSEYE, her skills leagues above where they were during this performance, and leagues above where they were when she started. And you know, I think that is a valid way to look at artist development. You kind of have to. There's just that's important, because at the end of the day, we can train someone to be a better singer. We can train someone to be a better dancer. The shit's not easy, but you can do it. But if people don't get that vibe, if people don't feel that from them when they see them, it's going to take you a hell of a lot more marketing dollars to convince the public, right? And I think that, you know, she just, you know, her spot was well-deserved. I was a bit disappointed in this performance, not going to lie. I think there were times where she, you know, fell to the wayside compared to her group members, Nayoung especially. But, you know, I think she deserved her spot, and I think she worked hard for it, especially in the finale. But, yeah, obviously, key takeaways, Sophia, phenomenal job. Really shocked me, blew me out of the water, and the fact that she was able to do this while sick just shows the limits that these girls were willing to go to debut. Daniela did a phenomenal job. Again, sometimes I think that Daniela struggled with not being present. I think that similarly to Marquis, but I think it was almost more similar to what my critique about Mano is, that sometimes I can tell that Daniela is thinking through it. She's thinking through performances. I could tell that she really wanted this throughout the entire process, and you can tell by the energy that she had in the Pop Star Academy documentary that she really wanted this, and she's used to being trained and drilled to get better, and that there's definitely a sense of pride that she carries in being able to accomplish and stepping up to the plate. That's important to her. And so you can tell that sometimes during these missions, she's actively thinking through it because she wants it. She's hungry for it. And she's going to think to make sure she doesn't mess up. But sometimes when you overthink it, it can kind of pull you out of the performance and therefore pull the audience out of the performance. So I think there were times that I noticed when I'm like, Daniela's not as there, but then when she has her moments like the hots, right? When she has those moments, you can see her, she's like, this is my time to really like light this shit up, right? But I would still say she delivered the second best performance of the night, right? Overall, I think this was a solid performance. Do I think it was better than Confident? Hell to the fuck no. But I think it was a solid, great, beautiful performance. I think the choreographers did an amazing job. Was it Grant? I think it was Grant and Sohei who also did these choreographies, if I'm not mistaken. They did a phenomenal job of choreographing this. I think that the direction of it overall, the multi-directional filming, I think the set design was great. I think the outfits are cute. But do I think it was better than Confident? Nope. But yeah, doesn't matter. It was still a phenomenal performance. Yeah, on to the ranking. Okay, now for everybody's favorite part of the night, where we rank the performances. We are going to go ahead and start with Wannabe. I think, like I said, I think all of the performances from this mission were phenomenal. So I'm not going to play with y'all. I'm going to go ahead and put Wannabe in category A. I think it was a beautiful performance, and it's going to go in front of the Fearless performances. I feel like by this point, the girls were really confident. They knew, like, we're at the home stretch. Like, we got to turn this shit up, y'all. And turn this shit up, they did. Like, they turned that shit up. I will say that, you know, what's keeping them from being S tier is pretty much main thing is Ua's vocals. I think pulled away from the performance a little bit. So I think I can't, you know, realistically give it an A tier, an S tier, but they did a damn good job. Next up, we've got Confident. And y'all may hate me for this, but Confident is going in S tier. Confident's going in S tier. It's not going above Still Into You, but it's going in S tier. That was a phenomenal performance. They came out the gate. They blew me away. Megan, her presence, her energy, her power. I was completely shocked. Yoonchae, amazing, phenomenal job. Grounded the performance. Marquis, stunning. Came out the gate, like, giving us what she ain't gave us yet. Like, I can't. Laura Raj, her vocals, like the vocals of Megan, like, there was just so much that went right with this performance that I cannot stress enough how good it was and why it was the best performance of Mission 3. Like, hands down, S tier. There's little that I could say about why it's getting S tier. There's actually a lot I could say, but I don't care to blab about it, you know? And then lastly, of course, we've got Buttons. Now, I would put Buttons in S tier. I think that the fandom as a whole would probably stick it in S tier. However, I'm going to stick it at high A tier. It would go between S and A tier if I were, you know, on a different scale. I think it was great. I think it was such a good performance. I just don't... wait. Look, y'all making me think. Fuck it. I'll give it an S tier. I'm going to put it in S tier. And here's why. I think that Sophia and Daniela, Celeste, I think the performance was on for these girls. They were performing down. Similarly to the Confident group. I think that the vocals were a little less impressive. I think the song overall is just a vocally less impressive song. So it's a little bit unfair to do so. But the girls were stunning. You know, they really, like, I looked at that group as if, like, damn, this could actually be the final lineup. Like, I might not hate this as a final lineup, even with Celeste's vocals, right? Like, I might not hate this. And I think that the girls shined so well together, and they all impressed me in ways that I didn't expect them to do. So I can confidently put them in S tier. I think I can do that. Yeah, I guess this is so far. This is going to be our final ranking going into the final mission. Well, that is the ranking, and that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the Dream Academy Mission 3 ranking. I want you to let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me, how you feel about each of the missions. Do you think that Confident is a better performance than Buttons? I want to know if anybody agrees with me and if there are any Confident truthers out there, because I am a truther and I'm a ride or die. I really want to know what you guys think. Make sure, if you haven't, to tap that like button, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications anytime that I upload. I do live streams every Wednesday. Make sure you follow me on twitch.tv/TreyHits_ to keep up with my live streams as well. We'll listen to music together, review albums, all that fun jazz. That is it for me today. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing night, and I will see you next time. Trey Hits is...